It was billed to be a celebration of democracy, a chance to show the world that the majority of Egyptians were in support of the army's political roadmap announced following last year's coup. But when polls opened on Monday, the reality appeared to be much different. Scenes like these, empty polling stations across the country, were a sign that a large section of society chose to ignore calls by Egypt's military-backed government to take part in this election. The low turnout forced officials to declare day 2 of the election a national holiday in a bid to increase participation. But that seemed to have little impact, with Tuesday witnessing a similarly low show in voters. That prompted them to close shopping malls 8 hours early, with public service announcements made calling on shoppers to go and vote instead. Even mosques were used, with calls blaring from minarets with a message, "If you love God, then go and vote for Abdel Fattah el-Sisi." El-Sisi is one of only 2 candidates contesting these polls. He's the former army general who led the coup which ousted the first democratically elected president of Egypt, Mohammed Morsi. But voter numbers still remained low, so the Election Commission announced late on Tuesday that it was extending the poll by 1 more day, claiming that hot weather had prevented many from taking part. But the last time Egyptians voted in a president was in May of 2012. The weather was identical. The pictures, though, were not. Back then, long queues of voters became the defining image of what was seen to be the transition to democracy. The apparent low turnout in this year's election is being interpreted differently by all sides. The Anti-Coup Alliance and the Muslim Brotherhood have hailed it a victory.
You can't hide the sun. The people turn their back on Sisi. The people consider these elections illegal. They realize that their votes have no value because there were 5 elections before and all went in vain.
Meanwhile, supporters of Hamdin Sabahi, the other candidate in this election, say it's a result of youth losing faith in the system.
Everyone is interpreting the boycott to their own aims. The Brotherhood says it's victory for them, while the Sisi camp says the boycott is boosting the Brotherhood's aims. But in reality, the boycott came from the young people who were behind the January 25th revolution.
Results are scheduled to be announced on June 5th, but a winner could be announced much earlier if votes are finished being counted. The outcome of this election has never really been in doubt, with all signs pointing to a landslide win for el-Sisi. But while he may have been assured of victory, he himself said that he wanted 40 million Egyptians to turn out and vote. In the battle for legitimacy, Sisi and his supporters want to show that those participating this year are more than those who took part in the 2012 elections that brought about Mohammed Morsi. In many respects, this election is more about the number of those voting than it is about the candidates themselves. Jamal, Elshayyal, Al Jazeera.